And then you have, for lack of a better word, bottom feeders that are preying off of new pilots.
Correct. It's a little cool now.
Everything's good. Everything's great.
The sun went.
The sun went away, and it got chilly real quick.
Yeah, we always try to knock these things out a little fast, but today, this one took a second because we had a guest, my boy Tatico. Welcome, Jose.
Thank you guys.
What's up, Papi? Welcome, bro. Welcome here.
We were talking about several things while we fly. We always talk about many subjects: community, teamwork, components, coastal things, reckless personalities, things of that nature. So today we just wanted to touch on one thing that might lead to a bunch of others.
Yeah. You know, something that I don't get tired of saying is that this is purely for information. This is what we want to bring to the community. We want to bring impartial opinion, right? Because we're not swayed by DJI.
I'm not the end all be all, neither are you.
No, and listen, please, this is pure opinions. If it's factual, we will say it's factual, because there are things that are factual.
Yeah,
you know, like a 1950 kV motor. It's fast. That's factual.
Yeah,
you feel me?
Right.
But the rest of the stuff is our opinions and how we feel about it. We come from very different stages of FPV experience, you know, so we bring very different points to the whole conversation. But a topic, a theme that's consistent is the community.
Yeah, for sure.
You know?
For sure.
And the community consists of not just all of you, but all of the components and all the people that produce them and everybody that's around, because we have so many different brands, so many different types of components that we use.
Right.
Like, just to launch a couple of brands out there: Team Black Sheep, Diatone, Ovonic, Tattoo,
Fat-Tech.
you know, Fat-Tech, yeah, things that we use. Impulse RC, HQ, Ethics, absolutely,
For sure.
you know. And then you have, for lack of a better word, bottom feeders that are preying off of new pilots.
Correct.
We're not going to say the brand. A certain brand, let's say. People are going to infer, but we're not going to put it out there. So I've never flown their motors, but if you are contacting me to give me $60 worth of motors and want me to put in $1,000 worth of time
Or work, yeah, for sure.
for motors? Are you fucking kidding me? Bro, I'll pay for the fucking motors. I'll give you a shitty review and not waste my time, you know? But this is what this FPV divide is.
Yes,
They try to
yes.
divide and conquer.
Yep.
You know?
That has happened, and it has been happening before I even got here, before you got here, and I'm pretty sure.
It's been happening since the dawns of times, bro. It's just, listen, there's always a hungry, innocent, naive person that'll do anything for recognition.
Right.
And those are what those people prey on, you know? Now, if you're quick, and you know this because me and you had this conversation, they hit you up, and you're like, yo, Juan, read this contract.
Right,
And they
for
had
sure.
already hit me up, so I already knew what was up, but I hadn't got on the contract, because I was like, nah, you're bugging.
And just like everybody else, I got excited.
everybody
man,
else.
Somebody's
Yep.
knocking on the door, you know? Let's see what they got to offer. And then I questioned it myself when I read it. I was like, is this even worth it? So I wanted to talk to my ace, you know? One of my mentors, my brother. And then,
Yeah, and there's a lot of guys that did that, and after we're like, yo, these motors suck. They bend on like
we
the
saw it
first
in
break.
person at
Yeah, I saw
Gates.
that too.
Kid Callian's it went on fire.
Yeah.
He sent the battery, and then what happened?
That's it.
It fried.
Fries on the fucking air.
In the air, fried right at the go.
And plus the bells, really bad, bro.
And we're not trying to put anybody down, but when it comes to products, like, we want to big up the stuff that's worth it. And for you guys to send us requests to do such large amounts of work for a product that's subpar, it's not cool. I mean, it brings a bad rep for you guys.
Absolutely.
And I mean, it's starting to spread around the community, because it's not just you, me.
It went
or
quick.
you.
I heard they closed the Instagram account and everything. So I don't know what happened after that. So that means something big.
But I mean, bro, if you're trying, and listen,
Yeah.
and
I was gonna say something.
you know, I'm not. We have to also be partial, right?
You
And
know what?
not
that
take
makes
sides.
sense. That's good too,
right?
because it'll bring bad vibes.
It'll bring bad vibes. And
sure.
while what we're saying is true, there's no need to bring that juju on our way.
That's cool.
So it's a specific motor that most of us have been approached by.
Colorful motors.
Colorful motors. They fucking suck ass. But as you see, there's no banners here. There's no goggles on my head. Nothing. We're doing this purely for the sake of the information that people might not be getting, you know?
Yeah.
And again, where we were going, the FPV divide, the
Man,
community.
That's a tough one for me. You know, excuse me, I may sound hoarse right now. I just came back from a long weekend of shaking it up and down, man. But I was thinking about this while I was there myself. I was thinking about it in the dance world. You know, sometimes when you go to meet your heroes, it's not exactly the person you thought you were gonna meet.
Yeah.
Has that happened to you before?
I can't say that it has, but it makes sense, man, because we idolize these people, but they're just humans.
Right, just
Yeah.
like us.
With problems,
Emotions.
yeah. Feelings.
Yeah.
You know, I was telling you, go ahead.
It's like when you're in school, right? When you're in school, you see the teacher like God, like they don't do party, they don't go drink, they don't do shit.
Right.
But when you sit outside in the bar drinking and getting fucked up, you be like,
Oh, you must have saw a teacher somewhere.
yeah, I'll be like, I thought something different.
No, you're absolutely right,
No,
bro.
See, that going back to meeting your heroes, the people you look up to, they're not necessarily gonna be the person you want them to be, and that's okay though. That's okay. You know,
They're
it should be-
human.
Right.
They're human. I was telling you earlier, I was watching the Michael Jordan documentary, and you have to put up this facade because the people have built you up to be this persona, you know? Now, you can't leave your house not smiling. Because if you do, they could be like, oh, maybe he fought with his wife,
Yeah.
or maybe this happened, or maybe he's gambling again, and all that happens was you woke up, like me, for example, right? If I wake up and it's cloudy, my mood already is not the same as a sunny day. So already I'm charged up for this bad mood. So when I walk outside, I have to be like, all right, let's get into the mindset of doing things positively, right?
Yep.
But if it wakes up beautifully sunny, you're like, let's fucking go. We out.
Yeah, you can see the people in the summertime and the wintertime. People don't look the same.
Yep.
Not happy.
They're not happy
Not
at all.
happy.
No.
Outside in the summer, estamos alegre. Everybody's.
Yeah, in the summertime, you see people like party all over the place, music all over the place.
All
In
the
the winter, it's like everything quiet.
Yeah, it's true. It's funny you say that. So I coach my son's soccer team, and in the summertime, the parents of my team, we see each other 5 times a week. You know, we have barbecues 2 times a month. But now in the winter, we might only see them like once a month, if that, you know? Because the winters in the north are brutal.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, like I'm sure if we were in Florida, things would be different. And don't get me wrong, it gets cold in Florida,
Getting cold.
but it gets cold for like 3 days, and then it goes right back up to 80, you know? While we go down into the 10s and go back up to 30, they go to 40 and then get right back to 70.
I
So,
mean, I would be happy with 50 degrees.
Yeah, that's a
well,
big
it's coming,
change
it's coming,
from
it's
20.
coming. We're
That's a
gonna
big
have
change
we're
from
gonna have
20.
50 next week.
For sure,
But
for sure.
getting back to what we were talking about, the community and the divide, guys, this is this hobby, profession, sport, because it's all these things.
Culture. That's right.
Community.
Unity.
It's a brotherhood. It's not. The other day, I was out on a Facebook group, Beginners to FPV, by my man Pinky's Up. Shout out to Pinky's Up. And somebody was telling him, somebody who had a post that said, before I get berated for my noob question, please understand that I'm only been in a hobby for 2 months, and I already asked people, and they make me feel dumb.
That's so fucking.
It's so sad.
Excuse my language.
It's so
It is
sad.
sad, man, because there are a lot of people who have a lot of information but don't give it
wanna
out.
share it.
They don't want to share it. They don't give it out. They don't feel like it's just like, oh, you're a noob. Learn your way. You know what? That happened to me too. I'm gonna say this, man, and we're not gonna throw nobody under the bus because, again, my heroes, the reason I'm flying, also didn't have that kind of time for me when I was searching.
Yep.
I needed them like you know how you are. This is like, I need the info now. I want it now. I need to go now. I want.
Give it to me now.
Give it to me now. You know, you're living in a world where you're so used to that, right? And to have people in your circle close to you, to be able to reach them, and they're not that reachable, especially with something like this, man. It's hard. It's heartbreaking, and it was, man.
I could imagine, bro, especially when somebody is close to you.
Yeah.
And it's like family,
Yeah,
you know? And I think we've all experienced that in one way or another.
Yeah.
But the community, and this is the most important thing of this hobby.
Most important.
Because this is what kept me in. This is what kept me in the hobby land, right? Because professionally, there is no community. Professionally, it's a profession, right? So you just go do your job.
It's your job.
Do your job.
Getting paid
But
for it.
exactly.
That's right.
So whether the client is cool or not, I'm getting paid. I gotta go put on the show. But this, what you see right now of us chilling at a park, talking, I've known him through the internet. But the minute I saw him, it was like, I seen a brother. What's up, bro? Yo, it's good to meet you, man. And if he ever has a question, he has my number. He could call me. And listen, I'm not telling you that I'm gonna pick up every time, but I will reply. And it might be within a couple of hours, it might be within a couple of days, but no matter what, I will reply.
But that goes out for the majority. Excuse me for interrupting.
Yes.
That goes out for the majority, that everybody should be reachable. Like, that's why we learn from each other. You know, you're there to inspire me. You're there to inspire me. I'm there to inspire you. You're there to inspire me as well, you know? Like,
That's how it goes.
I learn from the people who are coming up as well, because their mindset is different from the way I'm thinking.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a different time.
It is a different time.
It's not the same anymore. And we
Man,
talk about this, about the episode we're releasing. When I was starting, we had the community, but it was your local community. Your brothers that flew at Flushing Meadow, where we are right now. Like the dudes that flew here, those were the dudes that were your boys that you could call and stuff. But I couldn't call a guy from New Jersey. He's gonna be like, no, go fuck off.
See,
That's too far.
It's too far.
It's a
Yeah,
different-
exactly.
it's a different time though, because now we got brothers from like Rhode Island that come to meet
different
up.
places.
We keep talking about it because it's a must. That's where this thrives. The community, people bigging each other up, picking each other up. You know, from the likes to the comments to just conversation, inboxing, in person, like this. This is what it's about.
You know, now that you say, has that happened to you? I started thinking about FPV. And when I got into FPV, there was this local pilot. I'm not going to mention his name. Cool fucking dude. And he did a move that was so advanced for me at that time that I was like, how the fuck did he do that? And then I met him. And I flew with him. Cool guy, but he wasn't like what I had built up in my head. I had built up Michael Jordan in my head, and then I just met fucking, you know, a regular guy that managed to pull off a dope move. And he was learning. He was definitely more versed in FPV because he had been flying for a while.
Right.
But he was just another dude, bro. Just another dude.
Human being, man. That's what it is. It doesn't matter how much information you got, what it is you know, who you know. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You human just like the rest of us.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, this goes out, a shout for all the community members, family members and friends, everybody around. Up, north, east, west. Like, there's a huge divide. I hear it. Because I talk to everybody. I stay connected, you know. I'm not just only active, like, out here flying with the locals or the people in the tri-state. I reach out to the people on the West Coast. I reach out to people in Germany, France. I'm talking about Florida, because that's where I started, you know, in Florida as well. And, yo.
I remember when you started, though.
Yeah.
I've been watching you since.
Let's go, man.
It was you and another guy, but I didn't see him a lot.
Let's talk about that real quick, man, because some of your heroes are out here doing reckless shit. Some of my boys are out here probably doing some reckless shit. I may be doing some reckless shit, but there's a time and a place for that.
Of course. There's a way. Listen, we all do reckless shit. By flying on these towers, it's reckless, but we do it responsibly. I'm not flying over people. I'm not flying over cars. I'm just fucking hitting up some towers. And then, for example, Manny, E-Man, he dives buildings. But I want you to pay attention to the sun when he does that. It's the butt crack of dawn. There's nobody there. The streets are empty. Not fucking 1 o'clock when everybody's on their lunch break.
That's a touchy topic, but
It's a touchy topic.
We have to talk about it because it's touchy topic.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
That's a segment for this show as well, because the controversies, the things we have to talk about, because if we don't get it out there in the open, you guys are just going to talk about it behind the screens, man.
I mean, that's some people that are, you know, when I had no FPV drone, no nothing, I started watching. Like, this guy, you, all the guys. That started in 2020 when the pandemic, because you have nothing to do. You start watching things on the
Same.
Instagram, and that's it. and then you get into it, you be like, oh, that's nice. There's this. I used to be into RC cars.
You told me. That's right.
And then now, you know, people mention to me the drones. I said, nah, fuck this. I don't want that, because you know it's bought everything. But then now I see FPV. It's a different war. It's like a video game.
So wait a second. When you saw drones, you were RC car. You like RC.
Yeah.
You were into that, and then when you saw the drones, it didn't appease to you. You was just
I'd be
like,
like, nah.
Yeah. As he sits here with his goggles on his head.
The thing is,
fast forward. Right? Go ahead.
the thing is, the drones that I used to see was the shitty drone, the DJI like
stuff,
all
yeah.
slow and thing, you know.
It was
you
basic to your eyes, as
you be
opposed to the way the car moves.
Like every time that you see a video that fast and doing tricks and thing, you be like, how the fuck they doing that shit?
Yeah. So I'll tell you a funny story. I'm pretty sure I've told it on camera, but I'll tell it to you again. I got into drones with DJIs. My first drone was a Phantom 3 because Gino had bought a Phantom. So he's like, yo, Juan, you'll fucking love this shit. Check it out. So we get to Flushing Meadow, the fucking where the park is over there. And I'm seeing these guys doing things. I'm like, wow, that's dope.
Cool.
Thinking I have the same fucking drone. So I'm there with my dad, with my brother. We all have the chesty thing on with the holding the remote.
Yeah.
And my dad's looking over my shoulder. I'm like, Dad, watch. I'm going to loop this tree.
No way.
My man, I went right into
the
that
tree.
fucking tree. Bang! And the whole park was like, oh! And you could see the pieces of the Phantom just falling. But at that point, I was like, this is not what I want to do. I want to do that. That's why I wanted to do it. And that's why I got into FPV. And then I started talking to Dragon Ears and Carlos. And Dragon Ears was my mentor for like the first month.
Shout out to Dragon Ears.
Shout out to my man
Love
Dragon
you, brother.
Ears. Yeah, bro.
Shout out to Dragon Ears,
Hell
man.
yeah. Hell yeah.
One of the longest running pilots in New York as well.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Absolutely.
And he's
He's
also
from Long Island, right?
He's from, yeah.
Yeah,
At
my-
that point, he lived in Queens, but he's from
I
Long
didn't see
Island.
him for a minute, yo.
It's been a while.
Yeah,
It's been a
man.
while. Nah, Dragon Ears is my boy, bro. I mean, I haven't spoken to him in a
Sure.
while, but in the early stages of my FPV, me and him sat there at a bench just, I'll never forget, bro. I was doing line of sight. I was just flipping left and right, forward rolls and this and that.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I think it was like day 2 of FPV. And he's like, I think you're ready for the goggles. I'm like, you sure? He's like, yeah, fuck it, put them on. I put them on and I started flying. And then that's it, bro. The story
Addiction.
wrote itself.
Addiction, man. Oof.
I left to China, and when I came back, Gino and Corvus had become really good buddies.
Yeah.
So then we started venturing out. But Alan couldn't come with us. I think he didn't have a car or something like that. So like he couldn't come out with us. And then that's when, you know, everything started popping off. But yeah, Dragon Ears was my first day mentor, bro.
So how did you get into FPV? How'd you find, like, what was your, you know what I'm saying, who was your hero? What led you to get the quad?
Well, I started watching videos on the IG, right? And then, you know, I find out that they was flying the FPV drone, the combo.
Combo drone, yeah.
That was my first drone. I bought that, and I started flying around regular, and then flip for FPV. Started using the simulator and everything, right? Then I bought another drone, ready to fly. I went to Gates
Okay.
with the guys. Not even 5 minutes, 5 seconds. Not even 5 seconds.
The water?
I crashed to the fucking bin.
Oh,
Excuse my language.
now you're good.
And everything was broken, yo. That was my first and last.
Welcome to the party.
Welcome to the party.
I remember
Exactly.
you was there, and you saw the drone. You said, "Oh, that's a nice drone, but it's not meant to be."
Yeah, I was trying to be nice about it, though.
Yeah. You're like, that's nice, but nah. I was like,
You know, I was trying to
"Alright."
be peace.
I'd be like, okay, I guess I gotta research more and do more homework.
So
But-
wow, it was around that same time, man. You was just flying the combo drone, same as Big Will.
Yes,
And then the
yes.
transition happened there.
Yes.
Holy smokes, man.
I
Yo,
think 2021. That was that time.
sick. But I came back in 2021, and that's when I started meeting everybody. So I'm gonna segue into how I got into FPV. I got into FPV because of you brothers. I also bought the Mini, the DJI Mini, and I just felt like the thing wasn't doing what I wanted it to do. Like it wasn't. I took it off of Bear Mountain. I went to Bear Mountain. I went to Anthony's Nose. I sent it right from the flag over to, you know, it was dope. I was like, man, this is really, really cool, but it's not moving as fast as I want. And the controls are, you know, I got used to it for a second, and then I saw G, I saw you, I saw G talking with Dragon. Like I saw him sharing the pictures and stuff, and I was in Florida, you know, getting ready to go to Florida while this was happening. The pandemic happened. I moved to Florida. I got all my gear and stuff like that. Little by little, I'm watching Josh Bardwell videos. I'm calling you for help. I'm asking Fly High FPV for help. And I got a couple. I built it October 2020 is when I sent it. I met fucking Dana Stallion, the first FPV pilot, pull up on me, man. And that was it, man. It was an addiction. He's like, yo, you want to chase me? He said, don't go trying any funny things. And I was like, yo, I'm not even ready for this.
What do you chase what? What the
what?
fuck do you mean?
Yo. He's like, don't try no funny stuff. I was like, he said, so you bought all this HD gear and you don't know how to fly? I said, yeah. He's like, you're fucking crazy.
When I
Yo,
started
shout out
watching
to you,
him,
Tim.
You was in Puerto Rico, I think, 2020 or
21. It had to have been 2021.
But it was like nobody there. You always fly solo. I was like, with the camera, put the camera on live and start doing your thing. I was like,
Wow.
Look at this guy. How cool is this thing?
Wow, that's, you know, you never know who you're gonna inspire, man. So I appreciate that, man. And that's why we coming back full circle to say, oh, yeah. To all our family members and friends, all the pilots and pirates that are tuning in, that stop by to say hi. This one's for you. Thank you for stopping by.
Peace.
Peace.
Yeah.